512 dikes and mounds. The above-ground petroleum storage normally surrounded by the earth, concrete, and steel enclosure designed to contain any fuel that may be spilled during operation of the tank and tanking of the piping failure. Underground tanks are normally covered with earth mounds of physical protection. In addition to the dikes, contamination area used in underground in locations while spill might affect the environmental endanger its adjacent property. 512 and 11 utilization criteria. Every above ground petroleum storage tank have the capacity of more than 660 gallons must be surrounded by a dike capable of holding 100% of the tank capacity. The tank's capacity of more than 10,000 barrels must be an individual dike for each tank of the groups of the tank are smaller than 10,000 barrels each, but within total capacity no more than 15,000 barrels must be surrounded by a single dike. The tank should be subdivided in drainage channels to prevent spill and endangered adjacent tanks within the dike. 512 2 construction. Typically the dike will be constructed in either earth using 12 inches of clay with similar impervious material for the top and inside slope of the dike basin. And the top of the dike should have flat surface and at least 3 feet wide, and the slope should not be greater than 1.5 feet horizontal and 1 foot vertical. Sloped in the protected area against the erosion and covered in clay surfaces 2 to 3 inches and graded to crushed stone and blast furnace slag bound together with hot liquid asphalt. And earth dikes that are not feasible with concrete retaining walls. Steel enclosure may be used in C figure 512.1 to prevent the erosion outside of the wall. Densely rooted local vegetation may be planted with the thin coatings of the concrete reinforced with the wire mesh may be applied. 512.1.3 maintenance of the dikes and basins must be continually inspected, maintained to prevent accumulation of the water, control corrosions, and eliminated unwanted vegetation. The slopes should be dressed occasionally to replace eroded material to prevent either erosion. Vegetation control. While vegetation may be used in control erosion outside of the dikes and is not permitted inside slope of the top dike, and because of the potential fire hazard and to decrease maintenance in the areas, and is recommended not selective soil stirling and confirmed environmental regulations may be applied to prevent vegetation from growing. Approved weed killers can also be used to prevent unwanted vegetation growth and vegetation outside of the immediate work areas of the trim regularity so that they does not exceed 4 inches in height. Brush, trash, and leaves and similar combustible materials should not be allowed to accumulate. 512.3 The petroleum handling storage areas when spill might be occurred required to have closed drainage system contain will spill return to the flush fluid storage, and they are required and drainage to remove accumulated rainwater, natural seepage, fire water, and may be pumped in during the give Marcus an answer. These systems these systems are essential to the safe operation of facility and prevention of pollution. And drainage system that may be included in the pipe valves in these ditches and sluices. As you see in the impervious clay surface, and 1 inch thick of plus or minus 3 inches reinforced positive or negative 1 inch thick positive or negative or 3 inches reinforced concrete steel and the impervious clay surface, which covers for 3 foot 0 inches on the top of the mound and the dike. The stone concrete or the slag surface with a slope of 1.5 to 1 ratio angle. The discharge the oil water separator, the cast steel and plug and gate or valve normally closed. And in the clean out plug, there's a clean out plug and an inlet grating. What you see is what you get. Your typical earth deck with a drain. This is the drain, and this is the discharge oil water separator drain. Gates, summits, poles, or gates, sump pumps, oil water separators, manholes, catch basins, etc., all which must be maintained in the clean working and drain inside of the dike, achieved by the slope of the basin surface of the system. Drainage dikes and either interior should be away from the tank, leading into one or more subs and pumps drainage and carried through the dike discharge and pipe fitted with some type of the control valve operable outside of the pipe dike discharge pipe, and they lead to the oil water separator. The 512 31 maintenance drain valves. Similar control devices should be enclosed at all times except for the actual under the supervision. Tank fields should be drained and frequently is required to keep them in clean, dry, accessible condition. Required drainage of the water from the tank fields and part of the maintenance function. Records must be kept in each type of the fields are drained in the body navigable water without passing through the treatment system. The treatment equipment such as the oil water separators must be cleaned often, required to maintain an acceptable level of effectively quality. To the appropriate section of the chapter, the further information regarding the maintenance of the specific maintenance pieces of equipment. 512 4. Roadways and walkways. Roadways and walkways refer to all roads and travel regardless for the use of vehicles, pedestrian, operational petroleum fuel facilities, including exterior bridges, ramps, stairs, and catwalks, parking areas, and etc. Required to access facility materials and construction may be included concrete, steel, timber, and asphalt, gravels, and cinders, either shells, and etc. 12.541 Maintenance roadways, walkways must be maintained in level, smooth, structural, sound condition, high condition free of defect, safeguard of the passages intended for the traffic all times. Surface. Go ahead. Surface or 51241 Maintenance roadways, walkways must be maintained a level, smooth, structural, sound, condition free of defects, safeguards of the passages intended for the traffic at all times. Surface defects to the potholes, grass must be patched and promptly when they occur. Replace washouts promptly and keep key drains clear. Obstruction at all times. In freezing the weather and remove snow accumulates and apply the sand or the salt. Maintain safe railways, barricades, handrails and stairways, etc. when required. And sound, safe structural condition. Protect all structural materials of the corrosion, weathering, application appropriate protective coatings. Maintain all traffic signs painted and marking reflectors, etc. 513 Electrical systems.